Hi, this is Joseph. In this video, I want to help you figure out how to find the right coach on the internet, specifically the right trading coach for you. I actually hired a trading coach in the beginning of my trading career. This particular coach helped me with mindset. It wasn't really about helping me find the right trading system and the right trading strategy, but a lot of what I learned from the mindset coach helped me in developing my trading system. The other thing I want to quickly talk about is the wave of coaches that have hit the internet and social media. You've probably seen it. So it depends on which social media you like. Some people prefer Twitter. I think for trading, you get a lot of updated information. It's more concise. And then with Facebook, you've got a lot of webinars and Zoom or Facebook Lives and certain events that people try to draw you into. And one of the things that I can help you with as far as some structure in trying to identify who's the best coach for you or who's qualifying or who's qualified is that I can really base it on a lot of the questions that I receive. So I get a lot of emails every day asking me my qualifications. Sometimes people just kind of skip over the qualifications and they'll ask me, how many pips do I make and things like that. So they're kind of missing the mark. They're not really figuring out what would be appropriate as far as classifying or qualifying a coach. And I think it's because of all the confusion that's out there. There's so many people out there on the internet. Like I open up my news feed. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook, but when I log into Facebook, I have new people almost every day that pop up. I've never seen them before, and they're calling themselves a Forex coach. And then I go to their profile, and then I go down, maybe, I don't know, a few, you have to scroll down a little ways, but I can go back maybe 6, 8 months, and you can see that they were working at another job, maybe, and I don't want to say that one job is better than another, but they were working at a job that had nothing to do with forex trading. It wouldn't even give you kind of wonder, how did they make the transition? What made them even do that? And you can tell that they've only been trading for just a few months, literally a few months. A lot of these guys who call themselves or claim to be forex coaches have only been doing it for a few months. And when you go to their website, they're trying to sell you on their coaching, and they'll offer a lot of freebies or some trade copiers and EAs and things like that. But just be careful with that. I mean, somebody who's back tested an EA, you don't know how it's going to perform in the future. And with a manual trading system like mine, when I'm teaching somebody my trading system, I insist that I'm there with them because I don't know how they're going to perform with it in the future. I want to make sure that they can be there in the heat of the moment when they're making that decision to get into the trade to experience the market environment, the conditions that are set up and are present for that day and at that moment. Because there's really no two trades that are exactly alike. And you need to be able to step back and identify that. And that's one of the reasons why EAs or robots don't work very long by themselves. They may work for a little while when the conditions are optimum, but then the market shifts and immediately that EA is going to continue to fire off trades and not take into consideration the environment and the change in the price structure. So, a manual system, you don't have guys that are trading and managing large funds for investors, and they're not just running off a little EA or a little robot. I'm not talking about algorithms and things like that. I'm not talking about $1 million or multi-million-dollar systems. I'm talking about the simple systems that these coaches and people are trying to sell. So be careful with that. Just kind of step back and think the reality, the overall big picture here. And again, when it comes down to qualifying somebody based on the amount of experience that they have, somebody who's been trading for even 1 year, there's a lot of different methods that people use to determine what is a professional, what is a master. You've heard the idea where you should, in order to master something, you should have at least 10,000 hours. Other people will say it's at least 10 years. There's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different concepts out there. And the other thing is, if somebody says that they've been trading for a year or two, how much time out of that year or two did they spend trading? Did they spend a total of 6 months out of the 2 or 3 years or 1 year? There's so many different things going on there. And I have 19 years of trading experience. Now here, I've got to throw mine in, right? So, but the thing is here in my situation is I do nothing else but trade. Like I don't have another job that I go to. I look at my charts 7 days a week. Now I know you're going to be thinking, well, the market's closed on Saturday. So how you opening, looking at that? But I look at my charts. I study my charts. I study my trades. I review my trades. I'm always looking. I will never stop. It's just something that I do, and I've always done it that way. It doesn't necessarily mean that because I have 19 years trading experience that I'm the right coach for you either. That's also something that I want to share with you is that what your goals are, what your purpose is, how much time you have to trade, and what you hope to achieve from trading, all of that is also going to help you determine whether or not a coach is the right one for you. So I'm the best coach for people who have a larger trading account and want to be hands-on and execute trades, and they want to make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 now a month or more. And it's because they have a sizable trading account. And let me explain the difference. So many of my coaches, my coaching students, my coaching clients, they're professionals who have succeeded in business somewhere prior to finding me. And they've opened up a trading account, and then they want to turn that trading account, so they want to either sell their business or they want to cut back the amount of hours that they're working in their business, and they want to enjoy the process of day trading or swing trading. So I teach them my methods to grow their accounts, right? They're going to earn $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 or more per month based on my trading system. So for the most part, they have a lot of that mindset, and they have a lot of the issues with money issues out of the way. They've already dealt with those things. Some of them haven't. Some of them still struggle with some money issues. But compared to if you take that type of investor or that type of coaching student and compare them to somebody who only has a $1,500 trading account. So somebody who has a $1,000 or a $1,500 trading account, they're more of a scalper. They're more into just learning techniques, and they want a lot of trades, and they want to trade around the clock. And the reason that I know that is because I was one of them. When I first started trading, I didn't necessarily start off with a $1,500 trading account, but I was really aggressive, and I thought that you could trade all of the time. And I didn't want to listen to the guys that had maybe 15 to 20, maybe 25 trades a month. I wanted to listen to the guys that had 100 or 200 trades a month. I thought that was how to do it. And it turns out that's not how to do it. That's not how to succeed. But you get my point. For every type of trader out there, there's a certain type of coach. And I might not be the right coach for you if you're into scalping and you're into getting in and out of trades, fast, and you want like 5, 6, 7 trades a day. That's not my style. I am very, very patient. I'm very selective, and I put on a lot of money on my trades, and so do my clients. And when we put on a lot of money on our trades, we want our trades to work. We want to know that there is no doubt, we may be wrong, but there is no doubt when we get into the trade that we're doing the right thing. We're looking for 100% perfect execution, and we want to know that 100% of the time we're going to have a winning trade. I do know that we're going to have a failed trade occasionally, but the fact that we have that approach and we're very careful and we're very calculating as far as the probabilities of a trade becoming not only just the perfect trade but a successful trade means that we're going to have far fewer losing trades. It's less stress involved because we're not scalping, we're not jumping in and out all day long, we're not losing sleep over our trades, and it's not necessary. I know that a lot of people are still doing it because that's just the progression. That's just how it starts. People get into this business, they get excited, they lose sleep, you've got to get your mindset. You have to go through that whole process anyway to become a successful trader, unless somebody's there to guide you through avoiding that and can point it out, and you're willing to accept it and use that information and take it, use it to your advantage. Follow the instructions or the advice of somebody who, and it has to resonate with you. Again, because if you're not interested in fewer trades each month, but making lots of pips on each trade and making lots of money on each trade, if you're more inclined to scalping and taking 3, 4, 5 pips at a time, 7 pips at a time, and trading mini lots or micro lots, again, my coaching wouldn't help. I'm not the guy that you want to listen to right now. Maybe in the future, you'll get to the point where you're tired of doing that and it's not making you any money. And then you'll realize it's like they say, it's like a marathon. You want to slow things down and you want to find a select number of trading opportunities. I say this all the time, and I say this just about every day to my coaching students, that the market's going to provide us only a few certain number of days in a month to earn the bulk of our profits. And the proof of that is looking at, let's say, this daily candle, this daily chart right here. You see certain days that are really small. You see sometimes it'll stay, in really small trading ranges for a few weeks. And then you see other days where there's big movement or trending days. Those trending days and those moves like that don't happen every day. So there's days where you step up and you make the bulk of your profits on these trending days. You can clearly see it here in the charts where there's trends. And then there's sideways or chop or consolidation, and that's where you need to be careful. You're going to trade less, and you're going to wait for the opportunity to present another breakout, another better opportunity. This is obviously a daily chart. I trade off of the daily chart. I trade off of the 30-minute and the 1-hour chart, and I teach my coaching students how to do both. But again, it really comes down to be really selective when it comes to your coach. Like, that coach has to help you get your mindset right. They have to, and what they say to you has to resonate with you. If it doesn't, if there's any resistance when you hear somebody say something, they're just not the right coach for you at the time. It's because you've got other ideas. You've got other, you want to trade in a way that doesn't line up with the way, for example, me. A scalper I wouldn't help a scalper. It wouldn't do any good. A lot of those guys that are on Facebook and they're taking pictures on Instagram and they're shopping and they're driving fast cars and they think that that's what's going to entice you into their coaching program. Those guys are usually scalping. Not all of them, or they're trying to sell trade copiers or robots, and not all of them. And then some of them will teach you their trading system, but they just don't have enough experience and they're going to blow up accounts. I got to tell you, after 19 years, and I've known this for a long time, but after 19 years, I can tell you that it's not necessary to blow up a trading account. It is very possible that if you are new in this business, if you listen to the right people and you find the right help, you can get to a successful point in your career, in your trading career, where you can live off your trading results without blowing up a trading account. It's possible if you're willing to listen and the information resonates with you and you're willing to accept it. Like, follow the instructions. It's like those, when you're older or when you're younger, let's look at it the other way. When you're younger, you look back and you think, wow, I wish when I was younger I would have listened to some of the people that gave me some guidance, some advice. It would have saved me a lot of pain. And it's just like that in this business. It's like that with everything. Again, if there's any resistance with what anybody has to say to you, and they're trying to, if you're considering them as a coach, and they're sharing whether their mindset or their strategies or their philosophies of trading, if there's any resistance, they're just not the right coach for you. You've got a different idea, and don't listen. Like, go find somebody else who's saying and speaking your language, and because again, there's going to be less resistance, and you're more likely to follow them and do what they say. But if what I say makes sense, then it's likely that you're on the path where you're seeing things in the way that I do. You're understanding that success in this business is, like they say, a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can have very, very few losing trades. You can have very few losing trades and have almost all winning trades for a very lengthy period of time. Occasionally I have losses, but I can earn back the losses right away. I teach my coaching students how to do that. And one of the ways is being very, very selective about the number of trades or when I get into the trade to begin with. And it's a matter of being able to read the markets and read the price action and the structure and know precisely when the better trading opportunities are setting up. And then repeating that process, waiting for that event to happen. There's a lot of times where I can see where price is going, but I just don't trade it. I just leave it alone and I wait for the setup. So again, be really careful. There's a lot of people out there pitching a lot of stuff and there's a lot of noise, and I see it. It's growing. It's getting bigger. Be really careful. You're going to spend a lot of money on a lot of these people that just don't have enough experience. I've traded through the global financial meltdown. It was a major event in my career. I was tested and I did just fine. I went right through it. My trading system was built on solid market principles is the reason that it worked. I wasn't trading these fad systems. I wasn't into the carry trade and only thinking one way. I had coaching students back then in 2008 that came to me for help because they were in carry trades, when the global financial meltdown was accelerating, and they didn't know what to do. They only knew how to trade one way. That to me is a big mistake. They didn't understand how to read the markets. They had no idea what to expect. It's a big mistake, and they didn't have any experience with things like that. And I've traded through all minor financial crisis events as well, political events, all of it. I trade every day. I may not have a trade executed every day, but I trade every day. I'm actively waiting and watching and timing the markets and watching how the markets are reacting. I love it. It's like the most amazing experience for me to be able to do that. I can't believe that I do what I do every day. Like, I still think I am so grateful for what I do. It generates a lot of money, and you can grow your accounts into really experiencing the lifestyle that you and your family deserve and what you're working for. But again, be really careful who you follow. And I hope this helps you when you're out selecting your coach. Ask them questions. Ask them how much experience they have. Ask them if they trade the way you do, and state how you trade, or state how you want to trade, and ask them if that's how they do it. If they don't give you a clear answer, pressure them. Make them answer your questions. I usually jump on a quick video and make a video to answer their questions, so that way, it's not lost in translation with these email communications. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free. Send me a message. I'd be more than happy to elaborate. I also get on Skype or telephone, and I talk to my coaching students, and I ask before they become coaching students, and I answer their questions, so that way they can qualify me as their new coach. That's something else that I really am a big I think it's a big step, is to be able to get the opportunity to qualify your coach. Ask them questions. Put them on the spot. I think it's important. So be really careful out there. There's a lot of people out there pitching coaching, and I've been doing it since 2007, but be really careful with it. A lot of them are really new, and they're going to try to pressure you, and be careful.